Are upper mid-range smartphones exciting? Yes, we think they are, but they haven't been getting as much love as they deserve. Now Samsung has a new one, the Galaxy A5 2016. It's an upper mid-range smartphone with great looks and supposedly fine capabilities. My name is Ray and this is PhoneArena's Galaxy A5 2016 review. Let's see if this guy can make us love mid-range smartphones again. The new Galaxy A5 sacrifices some of the lightness of its predecessor for a more substantial, ambitious feel. The looks and proportions of the new A5 are very good. It's very stylish and well put together. Not to mention the black on gold and black and rose gold colors look striking and different from what we've been treated to so far. The A5 is thoughtfully designed. It feels comfortable in the hand, while the physical keys have the perfect amount of click response. In an increasingly larger and deeper ocean of generic-looking plastic and metal products, the Galaxy A5 stands out as familiar yet distinctive model. A sizable 5.2-inch AMOLED touchscreen graces the front of the Galaxy A5. It didn't surprise us in any way. It exhibits the exact same characteristics as those of other current Samsung models. Its 1080 by 1920 pixel resolution is more than enough to produce a fine, pleasantly clear image, but the screen does come off as slightly washed out. Worse is the color balance, which, even on basic screen mode, exhibits an unpleasantly strong green. It's nothing you can get used to, but we'd like to see Samsung address this problem right away. One would think Samsung never ever uses its own phones, because if it did, we would imagine the company would be willing to do something to improve their pathetic user experience. It doesn't matter that the Galaxy A5 2016 comes with Android 5.1 and not Android 6, which is a fact distasteful in itself. What matters though is that Samsung's TouchWiz once again ruins pretty much the whole user experience here. This phone, the new A5, handles as if it's running some sort of prototype, early alpha version of the software it's intended to run. Things jerk around your finger like crazy as you slide it across the glass. Random apps happen to launch while the phone is still in your pocket, while system performance is more akin to that of a 3-year-old HTC of the same caliber. Now, Samsung does have the good looks. Its colors are bright and fun, it feels fresh and light-hearted. And it's starting to show signs of taste also, with its own distinguishable icon shapes and styles, which remain surprisingly consistent throughout the UI. The A5 is also well prepared to handle mobile payments. It has a fingerprint scanner and MST, which is the feature which allows Samsung Pay to work with the widespread magnetic swipe terminals. The problem here though is that the fingerprint scanner is almost as pathetic as TouchWiz itself. It's touch-based, built into the home button, and 5 times out of 10, it wouldn't recognize your fingerprint. Despite its more than adequate Snapdragon 615 chipset, this phone is ultimately slow. The 1.6 GHz octa-core CPU feels overwhelmed by the TouchWiz software, making for a less than favorable overall performance of the system. The GPU here is the Adreno 405. Heavy 3D games generally don't run too well, and when they do run, they usually revert to lower quality graphics settings. More ordinary looking titles tend to run fine though, so most entertainment isn't out of reach for the Galaxy A5. Memory-wise, the Galaxy A5 comes with 16 GB, but you can employ the services of a microSD card to increase the capacity. By default, surfing the web on the Galaxy A5 2016 happens via the built-in Samsung browser. We had no major issues, but the experience was nothing to write home about. Pages don't load too quickly and scrolling around feels a tad clumsy. You also have Google's Chrome browser pre-installed, where the experience is pretty similar. The Galaxy A5 2016 features a 13-megapixel rear camera with optical stabilization and f1.9 aperture that allows more light in than your average smartphone. Up front, there's a 5-megapixel selfie shooter. Image quality on the Galaxy A5 2016 is satisfactory but not great. The main issue we have with the pictures shot on the main 13 megapixel camera is that in daylight the phone handles brighter light poorly, burning the whites, and its dynamic range suffers. As a result, colors are mostly realistic while detail is just a bit mushy, but overall still quite good. Despite having optical stabilization and wide aperture, in lower light, images turn out blurry way too often. Selfies on the 5 megapixel shooter turn out okay, though not great. The Galaxy A5's video recording maxes out at 1080p at 30 frames per second. Video quality is decent, detail is not too plentiful, but colors tend to look realistic. We had no significant issues with call quality on the Galaxy A5. Meanwhile, we ran the phone through our battery test and the result was great. In real life, the A5 easily lasts a full day, even when you put it through its paces. And on average, we easily get around a day and a half of use. The Galaxy A5 2016 is a beautiful but flawed smartphone. It's hard not to like or at least appreciate its classy look and quality feel. But once the initial attraction starts wearing off, there isn't much left in the A5 to keep you interested. Sure, it has the better than average camera, but boy does TouchWiz ruin the show. Samsung should step up its software game ASAP. The software experience may be something difficult to quantify, unlike CPU cores, resolutions and megapixels, which Samsung loves to pump up. But users can definitely feel a bad software experience. The TouchWiz problem is there and it's very real, so if Samsung doesn't want lesser companies to eat through its share, it would do well to double down on its software efforts. The $400 Galaxy A5 2016 is not the superhero mid-ranger we wanted to see. It's still a worthy option for people who actually want their phone to look good. But if it's performance you seek, there will be better alternatives at that price point, like the new Moto X or the OnePlus X. The latter of which, by the way, also has pretty similar styling. So thank you for watching our Galaxy A5 2016 video review. We hope it answered your questions about the phone, but if you'd like to learn even more about it, just head over to PhoneArena.com to read our full review there.